There's nothing quite like diving into a good book and letting your imagination run wild. Joining us now with top products for your reading enjoyment is Senior Director of Content Operations at BestReviews, Jacob Palmer. Jacob, thanks for joining us.
And thanks for having me. You know, this is such a popular hobby for so many different people that we want to make sure that everybody's got it optimized. They got every little detail figured out.
Yeah, and when it comes to reading, you have to have all the details. I, for one, am a very big reader. I love reading, so I'm very excited about this. But I have to bring it over here first. Jacob, what does the bag have to do with reading?
You got to be able to lug it around everywhere you go, right?
That's true.
I mean, you don't leave the house without at least a dozen books on you, so we can fit them all in this great product from Park & Coop. And what's interesting about this is that they have sustainability in mind as a company. You know, they're a mom-run business, so they care about the future and all of these things. And what's so interesting is that, you know, a lot of people are talking about the waste that's created by people discarding their clothes and how that fills up landfills. What they do for their company at Park & Coop is that they rescue the denim and then they repurpose it for different things, like this awesome bag here that's super functional, super easy to lug around, you know, great for that student in your life or just somebody who doesn't like to leave the house without a good book.
Yeah, and that's super true. That's actually, and that's great. It's multifunctional, right? It could be for the student, the mom, whoever it is in your life, but this is going to get the entire job done. Now, let's move on to the reading parts. If you don't want to do the reading, this might help you right here.
Or if you don't want to lug around 20 books and you just want to throw in one thing into your bag here, check out the Kindle. Obviously, this has been a technology that's been on the scene for a long time now. But what's interesting is that they keep on getting better with their new versions. And we see that with a lot of the products that Amazon comes out with. In the beginning, you know, they're just kind of testing a concept. And then once you get into, like, once it matures, you know, this 5-10 years or whatever, that's when you start to really see technology that's awesome. And that's what they have with this Kindle Scribe, which is their first model that allows you to write and annotate and take notes directly on the Kindle pages, which is such an interesting piece of technology, you know, especially for those students out there. I know that when I was in school, if I didn't write in the margins what this paragraph meant, I probably could have just forgotten it within 5 seconds. So awesome piece of technology there. But then they also have a few different options for people because the Scribe isn't the most, you know, a cheap, affordable product, but they do have things for all different kinds of folks. So they have just the basic Kindle here, which holds 16 gigabytes of information and different books, and you can load it up in all different kinds of ways.
Now, what about subscriptions when it comes to some of these types of technologies?
Yeah, because not everybody likes to consume books in the same way. You know, we've got people that like the Kindles, we've got people that like the analog books we've got on the table here, but then there's also some options for those that just want to listen to books on tape. You know, there is some argument about whether that counts as reading or not, but at the end of the day, you're consuming the information, and that's what matters. And right now, from Audible, there's actually an offer to be able to get it for 3 months free, and then once that 3 months is over, it'll cost you about $14.95, but you can cancel at any time to see if you like it or not. And that's a great way to be able to make sure that you're keeping up. You know, maybe you're cheating the book club, depending on how people look at that. Right? But you're at least able to contribute to the conversation, and that's better than showing up and saying, I don't even know.
You know what? Actually, as a matter of fact, with that note right there, we're gonna say that that's true, because I, for one, was kind of like, I don't know, Audible's that really reading? But you're right, it's better to have the information than to not have it at all. Now, if you are a reader, maybe you need some new glasses.
And this is great for if you're using the Kindle or if you like to read on your phone or an iPad or a tablet. Now, the Kindle does put off less blue light than the rest of those, but if you're reading on an iPad or a laptop or anything like that, it can get pretty harsh with the blue light. So these here from Felix Gray have been some of the favorites for BestReviews for a long time because they reduce that eye strain that you get from staring at screens so much. You know, there's a lot of scientific studies that come out, especially after the pandemic, when people spent more time with their screens, that eyesight became kind of a cost of that, where people had harder time being able to see distance, being able to, this will help protect, at least to an extent, some of those, some of that damage that can be done there. So we love these, especially if you like to, you know, cuddle up with a Kindle or read on your iPad.
Yeah, and something you mentioned, the blue light protection, that is super critical, everybody, because we all spend kind of too much time, I think, on our tablets and everything, right?
And these look good too. You know, the early versions of the blue light glasses, they kind of had this weird tint.
They were like kind of, like darker. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And these look stylish. They look normal. You would be on a Zoom call and nobody would think anything of them. They would think these are just regular glasses, but they're also protecting your eyes and, you know, providing real benefits for you as well.
Okay, something else that will provide benefits for you while reading is a nice little lampstand.
And so this is great because because it's cross-functional. When we come in here, we love to bring products that get the job done in a few different ways. This one here from Umbra is great because number one, it puts off a really soft lighting, which is really in demand these days. People don't want the hospital lighting in their own space, especially when you're trying to read and kind of unwind from the day. So this has got a great soft light to it, but it also allows you to use it as kind of storage within your space. So as you can see, we've put pens in here. You could use your glasses, put them in here as well, keep track of them overnight. And because of that soft lighting, it's also very easy to use around your partner. You're not going to disturb them too much. Also some options in terms of what color lighting you use, so you can kind of dictate that. And then finally, it gives you a USB port. So it's kind of like this thing that's just really nice to put next to your bedside table or on your bedside table and make sure that you can do a ton of stuff with it.
Amazing. Well, as usual, you are super helpful with all of these tips. Going to get us prepared perfectly for reading. So Jacob, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, if you want to learn more on any of these products or others, just head to bestreviews.com or scan the QR code on your screen.